pretty much it. Um, yeah, I was in Tulsa, and then everything in Dallas got like there was no flights going in or out for a few hours because of lightning and shit. So
Yeah,
it's
Trix got fucking stranded. He's on his way to Little Rock a couple of weeks ago,
okay.
and he was flying through Dallas, and they shut everything down. And so he just had to wait for a few days, and then he ended up going to Charlotte, and then got stuck at Charlotte Airport for like 2 days, I think.
Yeah, because
And
it
then
was frozen as fuck, right? And then
yeah,
all the Uber, it was impossible to get an Uber in Tulsa, and I was like, what's going on? Like, I know it's not like a huge city, but and they were like, because weather was great this week, and they were like, oh, they're all just sitting on unemployment. I was like, wow, all right. I don't.
that's what everybody says, but it's like shut the fuck up. Like these
I
fucking
know.
lunatics swear like unemployment pays so goddamn much.
I know. I was like, oh, they're taking their 525 instead of 400 a day. Okay, if you say so, you know. But
Yeah, like I keep seeing people post this meme where it's like it's like a side by side where it has like a dude working hard, and then next to him it has like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then it has an unemployment dude, and it has like steak and lobster next
jeez.
to him. I'm like, oh, if you think they're living so fucking well, get on unemployment. Go ahead
Yeah.
and be. If you think that welfare people are really fucking living it up, why don't you go ahead and fucking jump on? Clearly, you know that their lives suck.
Yeah, exactly. Mm. Well, anyway, so that's Tulsa. But Tulsa, you can get. I was gonna say you can get a $1 haircut. Uh, so if you guys want to get your haircut,
If
you
you're
can go.
bald, yeah, you just show up and they go, "We're
Yeah,
only going to charge you $1."
exactly. You only have $1 worth of hair to cut.
It was hilarious. It was this like
I think they
company
charge
that
you
like
per follicle.
clearly is like he's clearly like this. We'll talk. Maybe we'll talk about it. I don't know if we will or not. But let's go. We'll do our jokes. Oh, do you have live dates? We asked you about those at the top too.
Yeah, I'm in Lincoln City this weekend. Fuck, where
For
am I?
Pat?
Yeah,
Okay, don't get in a fight or whatever.
yeah, man. I was
Well,
very shocked to get that email.
yeah, that's a good gig. Um, but anyway, yeah, we'll do that at the top and just do our jokes after that.
March 24th in Vegas and April, first week of April in Des Moines. All right, I think I'm ready to roll.
Cool. All right, welcome to Homeschool, the podcast where Andrew Rivers and I, Cory Michaelis, perform about 10 minutes of monologue jokes and then bullshit about comedy, current events, and our social lives. So, just comedy and current events. And each week we have a guest that acts as our live audience. This week we are with the wonderful DJ Sandhu, who's in Vegas right now, I assume, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome. Glad to have you. Any live date? You're a fucking road dog, so you got live dates, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on the road since July.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now I've got this week coming up. I'll be in Lincoln City, Oregon. Uh, I think on the 24th, I'm doing a show back here in Vegas, and the first week of April, I'm in Des Moines, Iowa.
Okay. All right. I've never been. Lincoln City's
Yeah.
great. That's a fun. Who do you know who you're there with? That's a fun.
Gabriel Rutledge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend.
Yeah. The casino. They'll be not masked up. I bet you. And but it's right on the water too. It's fun to walk. It's fun to run right out to the beach from your hotel room, and then the woman that used to work that front door, she's awesome. She's amazing. I wonder if she still works there. Jasmine, she's pretty cool. So anyway, if she's there, tell her I
Sounds like
said
there's a
hi.
story there, Cory.
No story. Unfortunately, no story. Nope, no story. She's, I think, engaged, maybe? Nice lady. Andrew, you got anything live?
Tacoma Comedy Club, March 7th with Cory Michaelis. And
yuck.
then April 1st, Salem, Oregon, some outdoor free show. And that's looking like it right now.
Yeah, I got a busy weekend this Friday. I'm up here in Arlington. I'm on all the rural little areas. Arlington, Washington. It's already sold out, actually. Saturday, Enumclaw. We're with Andrew Rivers, if you heard of him. Doing a
Who's
theater
that?
there. And then 2 shows in Tacoma on Sunday, March 7th. Very excited. Hopefully it's all COVID-free. But let's do some jokes. What do you say, Andrew?
Hey, sounds good.
3-second pause first because we don't know how to edit.
I know how to edit, for the record, but Cory won't let me do anything. But hey, welcome back to Homeschool Podcast, episode 32, with Cory Michaelis, and I'm Andrew Rivers. The CDC says it's best to not drink for 3 days after your vaccine shot to make sure your immune system is performing at its best. That can't be right. Whenever I drink, I become immune to the pain deep inside of me. So I think my immune system is working just fine.
Your
But
system's on the up and up.
yeah, so is my blood alcohol level. But 3 days sober, I don't know. That sounds tough. I think I'm just gonna stay home and drink until they test it out some more.
Wait, so heroin's fine.
Yeah. You're good with
It's-
that. Yeah, I mean,
it's
you
just
can use
Jack
the same
Daniels.
needle. Yeah.
Jack Daniels is bad, but
Yeah.
if you want to,
It's all probably fine anyway because I only binge drink for 2 days in a row. So 3 days drinking is no big.
Yeah. Well, Cory, I have been worried about your drinking, so.
Whoa, it's called self-care, actually.
Yeah. Well, good rebranding. Either way, you're not getting a vaccine anytime soon. Joe Biden wants to vaccinate teachers quickly to reopen schools, but half the states aren't listening.
I think schools are safe. Kids are generally not affected severely by COVID-19, and the asbestos in the building should kill off any coronavirus anyway.
Yeah, it's good. Very safe. I mean, kids are giant balls of disease in the first place. No wonder COVID doesn't affect them. It shows up and goes, yeah, there's no room. Everything's already been infected. Kids are basically the same as bats. They hang upside down, they poop on everything, and they use high-pitched screeches to move around.
for real, I can never tell the difference between the sound of children having fun and children in grave danger. All they do is the only sound that they make is fucking annoying.
I live, there's a school behind my house. Obviously, Andrew doesn't live
Are you
here.
allowed to live there?
He's just not allowed to look outside.
And yeah, recess is insane. I don't know how those teachers of young kids do it. But either way, I'm glad we're having this whole conversation halfway through the second school year of COVID. I mean, it's not like any of this could have been prepared for in advance, you know?
Yeah. I mean, who would have
No,
seen
no
this
way.
coming last March, you know?
Or maybe,
but-
or 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, the
Or
timing
5 years
lines up
ago.
with the 90-day return policy on Best Buy laptops. So most parents just want to get their kids back to in-person schooling, but teachers don't feel safe.
Well, most teachers feel like they shouldn't have to work in person and take the same risks as nurses, doctors, gas station workers, warehouse workers, cops, servers, delivery guys, mail carriers. Well, deep down we know we're better than everyone else, is what we're saying.
Yeah, well. Our parent-teacher conference is on Zoom now. Hey, Mr. Johnson, you're muted. I can see where your son gets his learning difficulties from and his drinking problem.
Put your pants back on.
Oh, boy.
A new study says people who wear glasses are less likely to get COVID because nobody wants to be within 6 feet of a nerd, right? Finally something to use those blue blockers for.
Yeah. Blue blockers. Those are my balls right now. Just giant blocks of blue. Speaking of a bunch of nerds, NASA just landed a rover on Mars. The first picture was of Ted Cruz in swim trunks.
They beamed back the first sounds ever recorded on a distant planet. And we got the recording. We'd like to play
Oh,
that
yeah?
for everyone
Let me
right
make
now.
sure this is... Oh, they must get this podcast over there. I don't know if that worked, but
I thought you were just gonna play your special.
I hit the wrong button, and it's all good.
I thought it would have been Despacito. Like, God damn it, we're not over the song yet.
There it is. Andrew, what about Ted Cruz? What's he got going on?
Well, he's not the only one dying to get out of the house. 38% of Americans would give up sex for a year just to travel again, a survey says. We know someone who made that deal. Hey, Cory, how was Tulsa?
I did not have sex. Also, you didn't even have to make the deal, and you've been traveling all over.
I know, right?
In Tulsa, I invited someone saved in my phone as Tiffany Tinder Tulsa to the show, and she wrote back "Chinga tu madre," which is "fuck your mother" in Spanish. So I don't think it was Tiffany.
So instead, you fucked your mother in German?
Yeah,
I think you should have wrote back "build the wall." Also, it's Oklahoma, so maybe it wasn't meant
Back
as
in
disrespect,
2020.
but like more encouragement. You know, like, hey, go ahead, man, fuck your mother. It's all good.
I was in Tulsa for 5 days, and I told them I wanted to experience everything the city had to offer, and I did not need 5 days. 5 hours would have cut it.
You got 5 days worth of work in 5 hours, but good for you. Easy to give up something you don't get a lot of. I would trade 30 weeks of road comedy for 30 weeks of staying home having sex twice a night. First show's at 8, second show's at 10. Let's make it 10:30.
Yeah, we got to turn over the room. So, and turn over Andrew.
Hey,
That same study.
come on my back.
That study you were talking about says nearly half would give up their job, 38% would give up sex for a year, and 1 in 5 said they would dump their partner if it meant they could take a trip in the near future. What kind of couple is that, by the way? A COVID denier and a diabetic with asthma?
Yeah, I think they meant dump their husband off the side of a cruise ship.
I see.
Or I think that maybe they took this survey in the White House.
I'll dump my partner. Lady Gaga, she's in the news. Her dogs were stolen, and her dog walker was shot 4 times before the dogs were kidnapped. She offered $500,000 in reward money, and her entire staff immediately asked for a raise.
Yeah, California is getting dangerous these days. There's a new COVID variant strain from California causing even more problems. Sounds like coronavirus went to LA and got some work done. You go, girl. You look amazing.
What are those, double Ds?
It's CV19s. I don't know. Hey, Tiger Woods might need a mulligan after his last drive. He was in a car accident and has been recovering in the hospital. Details aren't clear yet, but it looks like maybe he swerved so he wouldn't hit an eagle.
Oh, well, hitting an eagle is actually good, so I guess he swerved to hit an eagle, which I knew he wasn't a true American. He's probably born in Kenya or some shit. Key state Senate official ruled a minimum wage hike to $15 an hour couldn't stay in Biden's COVID-19 stimulus plan. It's mind-blowing, by the way, to watch people try and argue that that's actually a lot of money, right? Like, you think $15 an hour is a lot? You should see what I pay strippers an hour.
Ooh. Yeah. Imagine how much surgery is going to cost if we have to start paying nurses $15 an hour.
I know. That's a whole argument every time. It's like, so you mean to tell me that somebody who works at McDonald's should get paid as much as a teacher? I'm like, I think that teachers should get paid too. And also, like, I don't understand who's sitting around like, fucking, well, why do they get as much money as a EMT or something like that? It's like, well, if you don't want to be an EMT anymore, you could just go to Taco Bell.
Yeah, I guess
Like,
an EMT, I did look at it. Only 2 states in the entire country pay EMTs more than $15 an hour. Washington, and one other, which is wild. But we're
There's
not
got to
gonna
be
need all
sure.
these life-saving, the nurses, EMTs, they aren't going to be as important because fast food's going to start costing $50 a meal. Didn't you hear?
Do surgery on my Crunchwrap Supreme. Put it back together. Those things fall apart. Hey, I used to like nurse TikToks, but now that I know they're vaccinated, I don't feel as bad. I'm kind of like, hey, stop dancing, get to work.
Yeah.
But hey, good news. New migrant detention centers open under Biden.
Good news.
Time for Fox News to start praising him for doing the right thing. But don't worry, they're sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Why isn't there a conservative insurance? Biden also bombed Syria this week, officially christening his presidency.
Well, they shot rockets at our military bases that we said we would remove 12 years ago. So what is he supposed to do? Follow through with his word or something? Crazy.
He ain't no punk.
Yeah.
This just in, by the way, also less than a month in, and Biden already blocked college debt forgiveness. That goddamn commie bastard. Is this the version of socialism where everyone goes hungry?
Yeah, I think so. It's good. It's my favorite version. That's the Republicans' version also.
An FBI intelligence report describing plans for violence was emailed the night before the January 6th riot, but never read by Capitol Police or Washington, D.C. leaders. But I get it. I mean, I have 2,900 emails I haven't read, so.
Well, I mean, 80% of those are Cialis refills and child support notifications and triple run availabilities. And
World
Wait,
Series. World Series.
You
of
actually
comedy
get booked?
World
World
Yeah.
Series of Comedy. Yeah. Only 2 days left to get Joe's screaming deal.
Joe got stuck out in the cold.
Whoa, we locked him out. We got 4 hours left to get this deal.
I've had trouble being bothered by any of these stories about those riots because storm the Capitol is what my girlfriend texts me when she wants to have sex. So I'm just like,
hey, baby, why don't you QAnon in me? We're not wearing protection, but hey. Johnson and Johnson just released a new vaccine. I don't know why I made it sound like it's a sneaker drop or whatever.
Magic
but
Johnson.
Yep, 2 names, 1 shot. And why are we vaccinating old people? I think this is backwards. Grandma isn't going anywhere. We need to vaccinate people under 25, give them a stimulus check and some cocaine. This economy will get back to normal in no time.
It's a great idea. If you're elected,
or you can give the cocaine to the grandma.
Give her cocaine.
She'll sell it to her grandkids. Yeah. Oh, okay, sure. Whatever way you want to get it going. Look, I just want more cocaine in the world.
There you go.
Not for me.
Cherokee, the native tribe, the Cherokees, they're asking Jeep to change the name of its popular 4x4 SUV. Nonsense. Jeep is honoring the Cherokee name with their rugged off-road vehicle. Just honoring the tribes who were great navigators because white people kept forcing them to move.
I say don't make them change it. Give them royalties. If they're going to use your name, hand over the dough. You want to call a team the Redskins, then pay the natives for the right to use it.
Yeah, I know it'd make that deal. And introducing the Birmingham, Alabama N-words, but with a soft A. Oh boy. I know you're going to give me that joke to tell. All right. Anyway, I'm sure we'll talk about your last weekend performing, headlining at Laughs, but like, how's your regular life? How's everything going? Doing anything?
Oh yeah, I went for a hike last week. It was a good time. People made fun of me for breathing too loud on my Instagram story, and back off. I've been on tour. I haven't been hiking in a. Plus, I have a certain, creative process that sometimes fills my lungs with smoke. So,
Oh, you mean you're a pothead?
I prefer to think of it as I lead a plant-based lifestyle.
Ah, okay. Well, our guest today probably uses the plant-based lifestyle. I don't know. Are you allowed to eat pork? I don't know your rules. Please welcome to the show our buddy DJ Sandhu, everybody. Yeah, we need that one. We need bow bow bow.
Oh, on your soundboard?
He was trying to applaud you, but hey man, how are you? What's going on? What's new?
Not a whole lot. Well, I mean, I'm sure for anybody listening, a lot. But I live in Vegas, so everything's been pretty normal for a long fucking time now.
Yeah, were they not doing distancing crowds or like reduced capacity or what's going on down there?
Yeah, it's like reduced capacity, but like this is pretty much like this is what I've always wanted Vegas to look like. Like there's no, all the clubs are closed down. Like I don't go to clubs anyway. I don't miss Hakkasan. I don't want to fucking be at Dre's. Like my favorite bars are open.
Omega.
I barely go to casino. Like I mean, comedy shows are going, but they're at reduced capacity. So I mean, any show I'm headlining is. Nah, Jesus Christ, no.
He's the worst.
But like, I mean, reduced capacity, that's like the biggest crowd I've ever performed for anyway.
Yeah.
So
I just hope Carrot Top is making it through all this unscathed. You know?
They just announced that he's coming back next week, I think.
That's fine.
Oh God.
I can't wait. I love Carrot Top. I don't know why people shit on him so much.
I do. What was that TV show, Make Me Laugh or whatever?
Oh yeah.
That was a good time.
Dude,
I heard he's really nice too.
He's hard to look at. I'll give you that. But like,
well,
but he's funny, man.
This is why we do a podcast. I'm not speaking out on anybody's looks here because this you got to pay for the video and
what are some of his props gonna be? Just like
oh God, I can't wait to see what his props are gonna be after this. He's got an entire year of not being able to perform and a lot of fuckery to work with.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, huh? Fun. Well, that's cool. There's a handful of comedians who have moved to Vegas. Is your guess that they're all permanent, or is it temporary, or does it depend? Are you permanent? What's up? What's the plan?
I'm permanent. I think that most of them are permanent. Like the people that are moving here.
Yeah. At least until ICE finds him. But
yeah, for real. Yeah, then I can be in one of those beautiful rebranded detention facilities.
Yeah. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. See, he's
but,
tearing up just thinking about it.
I think the people that are at like my level-ish, we're permanent. I think the people that are a little bit below me that are going to have trouble getting in with, like, I feel like if you're already in with a club when you move to a city, then you'll be fine. But if your goal is to move to a city and then get in with its clubs, you're pretty fucked.
Yeah. Well, especially if you have a dozen other people, who also moved. I mean, Austin, you got all these open micers moving to Austin so they can do 5 minutes on a Kill Tony or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Kill Tony on whatever shows there. And I mean,
yeah, Austin's getting overrun, but like, and here's the thing: there's no comedy club in Austin. Like they just have like a huge independent scene.
That's true.
So I mean, that's all fine and well, but like, that's a very disjointed plan of action. There's
somebody has to be thinking about opening one there. I
mean,
the rumor is
supposedly,
Rogan planning.
Yeah. And Cap City's going to reopen, I hear. And Creek in the Cave from New York City moved to Austin.
They moved.
So there's a lot of rumors about like hey, in 6 months or a year, this will be the new hub. And it's like,
for
all right,
future
well,
opportunities.
I
But
can
like,
move there in a year. I'm not gonna fucking move there right
exactly.
now.
They're not going to sit there like, oh, well, Cory Michaelis has been camping out since before we even signed the lease, so he's
Right.
first on the list.
Yeah.
Not like
I don't
the
give a
stock
shit.
market where you have to get in early or whatever.
Yeah, I'm camping out for open mic right now. Just
Yeah, for real. I'm buying into Comedy Creek futures.
don't the Laugh Factory I used to hear stories all the time about like, oh, I waited 7 hours in line for a Laugh Factory open mic or something like that back in the
Yeah,
day,
dude, it was
maybe.
Tuesdays on the Hollywood one was and it was, I think it was like 6 o'clock or some shit like that. It was like 5 o'clock.
Crazy. Yeah.
And it was a hell gig, man. Like, because it would be the first, I think it was like the first 25 that got in were guaranteed to go up. Or it was the first 10 or something. I think it was first 10.
Yeah.
And then they would only let 100 in altogether. And then from that first 10, guaranteed to get up, the next 90 are a bucket draw. And the entire audience is the 100 fucking people that you are waiting in line.
Pissed that
So
they're not getting up.
yeah, you can imagine how good your reactions are every fucking 2 minutes. Whoever had the set of the night got invited back for a 5-minute spot on the next Tuesday in front of a fresh new 100 bitter open micers. It's impossible.
Sounds like a great way to cultivate a young comedy scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Our Tacoma here, they've taken the approach in this last, I mean, they've been open a month basically, but of basically booking like really, really big names that are willing to work right now and just adding show after show after show after show, all day long doing shows. JP Sears might do 11 plus shows, and but some clubs are taking the approach of like booking people like me and being like, we're only doing 2 shows total all weekend long. And
yeah,
what have you done that you like were like, oh, this was a really good weekend still, even though it was I don't know, even though the rules were different?
actually, every week I've gotten has been almost sold out.
Right.
Like Laughs Tucson, but they sell out every week anyway.
Right.
Like Skyline, the only show the last show, I think we had like 40 people there or something like that. It was a light show, but there was this huge blizzard coming in. And so like when I got there for the early show, that parking lot was just cars. When I walked outside in between the first and second show, it was completely whited out. And when I came out after the second show ended, snow was fucking packed. So they wouldn't have come out for Joe Rogan either. Like it wasn't safe to be out.
I wonder why Laughs, because I feel like people in Arizona and Tucson would go out right now. So I wonder if they just did like, hey, we're doing 5 shows instead of reducing to 3 shows. If they bumped it up to 6 shows and reduced the capacity, I wonder if they could rake in some dough. I don't know.
Well, Laughs is or Tucson in general is a much more level-headed, pragmatic city than Phoenix is.
That's true.
Phoenix was like, fuck it, there's no rules, it's all a hoax by Pelosi and the libs, and they just have kept it open. But also Phoenix has way more hospitals than Tucson does. So they don't have because everything's based off of how many beds are available.
Sure, yeah.
And Tucson doesn't have very many beds to begin with. So they've been on a very strict 10 o'clock curfew up until like a month ago.
Well, that's gonna be hard to add shows then, yeah. Andrew, you just did Laughs, the other Laughs.
Yeah, Seattle.
Spelled properly, and how was it?
Man, it's good. It's 25% capacity out here, and I think Cory, you probably haven't done a bunch of these shows, but to me it feels normal on stage, but when I watch the video, I'm like, God, there's no laughter here, like I think that's just
so it's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal.
So it's just normal how I feel, I get off stage like I killed, and then I watch the video, I'm like, they were booing me. But
you have set dysmorphia, but like the other way.
Yeah, in a weird way. I mean, like, there's times. I mean, last night I headlined a 2 p.m. show at Laughs or at Tacoma, and that was, pretty full for 25% capacity, and then there were times like in between jokes where I'm like, okay, this pause is yeah, what up? The pauses and the wave just takes it's a sharper decline, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, fun time. I mean, Angela and Dave, I mean, they used to put me up on open mic and give me 3 minutes. And so they've known me for 12 years. And so, it was nice for them to call me and say, like, hey, you're the first guy we thought of when we're reopening. Do you want a gig? And I'm like, as long as it's not Cory, absolutely. And funny, so they're both vaccinated, which made the weekend a little more stress-free, because I'm like, if I know Dave's got some
not worried about killing your second parent.
Yeah, I don't want to kill the club owner, the only club owner that likes me out here, but funny, but the way they so this is kooky. I bought a new merch suitcase just to hold a lot more t-shirts and stuff, and Laughs has never been a huge merch club for me, but just because they don't have a lot of extra space and they really cram people in. That was the best club for 25% capacity, because it's not like Tacoma where there's this big giant room and these people are really shoved in there. And but anyway, so they're doing 2 shows a night, which every show was basically sold out for whatever the sellout 60 70 people was. And so in between the first show, Angela says, oh, we're going to have them exit out the door directly outside. And so I was trying to figure out where to sell my merch. And so I've sold merch outside before. So I was like, all right, I'll just do it outside. So I kind of set my stuff up and prop the suitcase kind of open and lay out a t-shirt on a stool or whatever. And then I'm on stage. I get off stage. I'm walking outdoors and Angela is like, stop, there's like a hailstorm and it's snowing and it's like just a thunderstorm came through. And so everything's freaking out. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I thought like, oh, they're probably not going to make everyone just walk outdoors. They'll probably have them come through this. And so I was like, oh, hey, where'd you put my merch? And she's like, oh, it's still out there. And I was like, oh, well, cool. Thanks. Like, appreciate that. So I run outdoors and like, luckily, there's kind of like a partial roof. So like, only like a couple t-shirts got soaked or whatever. And the flap was kind of open. So, and now I'm like, I should have just closed. I don't know why I need to display it, but I thought I'd save my time. So I run indoors and I'm like putting it, kind of by where they sell tickets. And then as I'm like standing there, everyone else is walking out the door. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, great. Well, and so then one random guy finds me on the way to the bathroom. I'm like carrying some merch. So I'm like, maybe if I run in there, and one guy's everybody. Like, yeah, where's your, where's you selling your shirts? I'm like, I don't know. And he goes, all right, I'll try to find you. And I go, okay. And so then I didn't sell anything that show. And so then second show, they all come through the way they came in. And it wasn't, I sold like 3 shirts or something like that. It wasn't super effective. But so then this Saturday show, I'm like, oh, perfect. I'm just going to stay. There's that back area where all the comics kind of hang out, and because they don't have a green room.
Flip the lights on and yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll sit right there. I set my stuff up, put it out on a table, kind of set it aside, look to make sure it wasn't going to rain in the roof or whatever. But so then I'm on stage and I'm doing a merch pitch and I look over to the exit and I go, hey, they're going to make you go out there, but I don't want to block the exit because it's real narrow. So I'm just going to be in the back selling my merch and I'm looking over there and then I see my suitcase sitting right by the exit. And I'm like, well, that's not all right. And I go, well, I guess I am selling merch right there. So So I go over that. I have 2 cameras going, a board audio thing. I'm trying to film a thing and get good quality audio and video. And so I have to turn off 2 cameras, make sure the power on my Zoom recorder is not being sucked off. And then it sounds real hot. And then
Just like you.
So so I run over there, and then I'm like trying to undo the zippers, and Angela is sitting there and she's like, "Oh, I zipped it up to move it." And it's like, "Well, yeah, you could have just picked it up or whatever." But and it's like there's like elaborate, there's like 2 sets of zippers. You know how they do that on some suitcases where they're like, this one's to make it. So now I'm like trying to figure out which, and like people are just storming the Capitol behind me, just leaving the building. And I'm like, no, I swear I got more stuff,
And
I'm blocking.
It's not suitcases. What is happening?
Yeah, it's crazy. So just a whole ordeal. And then finally the late show, I just set it up in the back, and I sold, the most I'd ever sold, in a show there. But
took you 4 shows to figure it out, but
yeah, it took a couple shows, but
DJ, do you bring? I can't remember. Do you bring something on the?
Yeah, I was about to say, like a year ago, I was in Little Rock, Arkansas at Looney Bin, and they don't have a lobby to sell your shit in. Like you just have to sell it outside on the strip mall patio. And like I set up
next to a piano store or something.
I was featured for somebody. I don't remember who it was, but it's storming, so people already just want to get the fuck out, and like no one's trying to line up trying to buy your stupid shirt. And so I go outside. Headliner gets his light. I go outside. I set up my merch, but what I do is I sell a women's tank top. And so what I did is I got a sex doll, an inflatable, fucking like the.
Yeah, Cory's very familiar.
I had Cory's mom come out, and
hey.
And what I do is I put the shirt on the sex doll so that like I have like a display, and then there's like an extra punchline for people as they're walking out. I go set it up. I walk inside.
Someone's fucking the sex doll when you come out.
The show gets out. The crowd's getting out. I come out. I'm like, where the fuck is my doll? And I look out and it's just floating.
Oh no!
It's just fucking floating off the balcony into like towards the movie theater, that AMC that's across the.
You gotta tie fake women down, is what
It was heartbreaking, man. All I could think is like, fuck, man, there goes another $25 shirt.
And a $40 sex doll.
Don't.
That's fun.
Dude, actually, that sex doll was hella expensive, man.
Yeah, I too much. I'm sure. I bought so many shirts before. You guys know Josh Sneed? He does a t-shirt company.
Yeah.
I've told this story to Andrew, but not on the podcast. It's just he won't send me an invoice for my last order because I think he's trying to be nice. Like he's just trying to be like cool, and I'm like, I appreciate it, but I owe you a lot of money, and also I'd like to make another order, and I don't want to be like, hey, so I don't know.
Same rate as last time, huh?
I know. So I have like 60 shirts.
You hear that, everybody? If you buy a t-shirt from Cory, he gets his supply for free, so the price should be dropped in half.
Exactly. I also don't want to do the joke anymore, so I'm like
so do the crowds.
I know. That's why. And I'm trying to figure out what. Like Adam was just like, well, do you have a new idea? And I was like, I don't. So
yeah.
Might need to make another batch. I don't know.
I wondered about that too, because I'm like, my supply is kind of getting down to like the lower end. And I was like, should I just make another huge order? But I'm also like, touring is so inconsistent. I don't want to sit on 17 boxes of t-shirts for another year. Am I really going to commit to telling this joke for another year, however long it takes to sell me these goddamn shirts?
Well, and I was thinking, I've seen some people, like the person I was working with this week just didn't do the joke. He just held
Uh,
the T-shirt up and he was like, I just saw this shirt, and but
That's worked for
sure,
me actually. Like I've done pretty well off of that. There's been a few
yeah,
times where like I just ran out of time and I was
right,
like, shit, I didn't have time to get to this joke. I do the joke well and I like run like just give them the punchline and then
yeah.
I
yeah,
do the shirt and people are like, oh man, I wish he had time to. But what ends up happening is I end up selling more DVDs
Yeah,
on those
yeah.
shows
Well, I happen to have the joke right here.
ah,
because then
is there?
people are like, oh wow, there's like so much more material, and it looks like I would have liked that
You're
material as
like, oh, it's
well.
just like
Like,
three more jokes, but yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
is
it's
Nat?
literally just a different introduction.
Yeah,
I'm
is
probably wearing
Nat
the same outfit too.
Nat Nat Baymel? That was he did, because his shirt is also the title track or the title of his album or something. I don't know. So he didn't do any of it and was just like, here you go if you want to hear it. So maybe that's the way to go. At least until, at least while I have him and I don't want to do it anymore. Did you? You were doing new stuff, obviously, Andrew. I was doing a bunch of new, which was fun, and it was working, and that's always
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. I think I got about 35 minutes of stuff. And it's cool. What's also cool is that because I haven't been able to perform in my home city forever, that's like I've
Out- Outside of your
felt,
home,
yeah, I felt
yeah.
like a little bit of like a loser, where I'm like, I keep doing these road gigs and everyone's like, dude, you're great. And I'm like, yeah, I used to, you should be so much more popular. And I'm like, I used to sell theaters in my city, but I felt like kind of like my career, I got nothing going. I'm a piece of shit. And, but then I like do these gigs like at my home, like a club I started at or whatever. And like, there was like old waitresses that haven't worked there in 5 years that like bought tickets. And there was just like, regular customers or fans or whatever, people that are like, hey, we already have the shirt. We love the new stuff. And that I was like, oh, I feel so like validated.
validated.
And
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, I'm not a piece of shit. I mean, people do like me,
no, you're
you
still
got
a
to
piece
look
of
in the
shit.
mirror once in a while and do the Stuart Smalley thing and go like,
Not for that
I
reason.
am good and people like me. And
Do you, DJ? You've been like we're always curious, like because we interview comics and like there's a wide range from like I'm not writing any jokes because I'm not doing any shows and I don't know how to do that and I don't know. But you've been working since July, so have you been doing material about what's been going on and or what's like? How do you?
Generally, no. For the most part, I try to because one, every fucking comic's doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like women be shopping. Like I don't want to do the
COVID be
same.
killing.
I've never wanted to do the same topics that everybody else is doing. So I've been staying away from COVID material. One, because it feels kind of hacked to me at this point. Two, I don't want. I mean, the audience has been doing nothing but thinking about this one fucking thing for every minute that they've been awake for a year now. So I want this to be not only their escape from COVID, but my escape from COVID. Like I want one full hour of not mentioning this motherfucking thing because you can't go an hour without talking about it right now.
Yeah.
So I've intentionally, and then I don't end the show with like, by the way, if you haven't noticed, I haven't said COVID in the whole hour. Like I want them to even walk out like not even consciously knowing that they haven't thought about this an entire hour, and that has uh, I think that's helped my pocket a lot because I had since July I've been selling way more merch than usual, and that could be because I'm a better comic. It could be because I'm the one that's not talking about COVID.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's really hard for them to they don't even think about it. And then they walk out and you got your face mask and your face shield and your rubber gloves and your hand sanitizer. And they're like, thank God he didn't bring up COVID. We
Yeah,
forgot about
really.
it.
Yeah, really. But honestly, man, like it's because that's what comedy's supposed to be, an escape from your reality. Uh so I want at least that time I'm on stage. I do have a few jokes that I'm like, all right, well, I could burn these because these aren't going to make it to my special. So fuck it. Like, I don't want, so I've put those on stage and just immediately like caption them and throw them on Instagram and then never go back to that joke again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a bunch of new material and I'm revisiting old material that didn't work. But I was talking to somebody last night and I was like, I think I now have the skills to make that concept funny. Whereas before it was just a funny concept and I couldn't find my way to the punchline.
You got COVID though, right?
Yeah, I had it Thanksgiving week.
Damn. Did it kick your ass, or how'd you feel?
It was rough. I'm fine. Walking upstairs hurts. Like I'll get winded pretty quickly. That's why Andrew, I was going to ask you if you had COVID, and that's why you're.
No, I mean, I do a bit about like, I don't think I've had it. I think I'm the only one who doesn't think they've had it. Everyone I talk to is like, we had it back in 2012. Shit was crazy. And,
Right.
But I make the joke like, I think I'm going to know because everyone I know is like, maybe you were asymptomatic. I'm like, I think I would know. Like, my friends that I sort of compare with like maybe,
my
I
immune
don't know
system,
how healthy we are, but,
my immune system isn't strong enough for me to not have symptoms.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I would be amazed if I was asymptomatic, but I would hope that that's the case because I used to be really safe and now I'm kind of like, I mean, whatever at this point. Like,
That's how everybody is now. We don't have. That's what like everybody's trying to compare this to like 1918 and shit like that. It's like, well, you got to understand, this generation does not have the attention span to sit through a 5-second commercial on a YouTube video. You think that they're gonna go an entire fucking year obeying the rule? Get the fuck out of here! No.
yeah, it's just interesting because I've wanted to talk about this a little bit on stage, but it's just weird that like I do make a joke about like Oklahoma was in phase who gives a shit the whole time. And but like the numbers aren't that different from states that were like, we gotta lock down everything and not do anything. And just I don't understand how any of it works. And so all I know is that I'm very low risk and I stay away from people that are high risk and I get tested pretty regularly. So I try to be as responsible as possible while not necessarily caring that much or being
And
nervous about it.
That's it.
you've had
I'm
like 15 years of that same experience with STDs. Like very low risk at getting them.
Yeah.
Stay away from
Yeah.
people.
It's funny. I added a line last night about I don't think I'm gonna be asymptomatic. Well, the premise is I've never been asymptomatic for anything in my life. Like, and I used to do it. I started the joke with like, people wake up with random bruises and they're like, how did that happen? I'm like, I remember every time. But last night I said, I have felt it every time I got chlamydia. I knew, because they say like 50% of people don't have symptoms when they get it. And I'm like, I remember every time.
I knew before.
Yeah. Well, once she said her
I
name,
I knew when I was gonna get it.
I knew when I was inside of her. I was like, yeah, this is.
This feels
well,
a
I
little
get paranoid
clammy.
about that anyway. I've been in the middle of sex like this is not going to end well probably in a few weeks, but it all worked out. But actually wanted to ask you, so I worked on this new joke about, I don't know if you watch The Bachelor at all, DJ.
No.
Okay, good. It's a terrible show. And
No,
so my friend was on the show and she's like this superstar famous chick now. And she's got like 500,000 Instagram followers. And so I started writing this whole joke about her. And I was curious we haven't talked in a while now, but I'm curious if I should send her the joke before or just drop it and be like, here's my joke about you. Or is it polite to be like, hey, just a heads up. This is what I'm saying. And
here's the thing.
He's gonna release
do
it
you,
on
with
YouTube.
or without the joke, do you foresee that the two of you are gonna eventually continue communication with each other? Or do
I'm
you
sure
kind
we'll
of feel
sit.
like
I think
your
we'll still be
relationship is
friends. I think. I mean, my version of friendship is a lot different than hers. I mean, friends with benefits, but no, I'm just kidding. Um, you know, she's always been. I mean, this is the whole thing. Is like she'll say like, you're my close friend and I want to talk to you and I want you to be close friends and I want you in my circle. Cause I was she was like getting all this fame and attention. And I was kind of like, hey, I get it. You're busy. And she's like, no, no, no. You know, we should be friends and we should talk. And I'm like, cool. But then she'll just go a month without saying anything to me. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, a hello or how you doing? You know,
does she still like or comment on your Instagram posts?
sometimes, I mean, that's another thing is she's under
Because
this
that's
contract.
communication.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
But
what
I
I mean?
mean, so like for example, I thought I posted my set list and I changed the joke about her to basically her name. And then I like screenshotted that and I posted it to my Instagram story to be like, if she actually goes through my Instagram story, she'll see it and then reach out to me and be like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about me or whatever. But I checked this morning, she like clicked through two of them and then left. And so I was like, okay, she like accidentally goes to my story and then goes, I don't want to see any of this shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
exactly. So I'm like, all right. But I just thought it'd be a polite, you know, if I'm going to be talking about someone, then maybe she would want to, not that I would give
Okay,
her any creative control over it, but
I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, she has now crossed over into public domain.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
So therefore, if I wrote a joke about her, or if
Yeah.
anybody else who watches the show writes a joke about her, I'm not gonna reach out and be like, just to let you know, like
Sure.
I haven't been fucking sliding into Trump's DMs for the last 5 years to let him know that I'm talking shit about him on stage. When you're a public figure, you
Yeah.
have to assume that people are going to speak about you publicly. It would actually be in her best interest for you to have that joke about her on stage, caption it out, and then if she shared it, she'd be like,
Right.
OMG, look at where I am in life. Like people I don't even know are talking about me. Wow, this is wild.
Thought we were friends. Nah.
Yeah, yeah. People I don't even know fucking claiming they dated me for 6 months.
Well, she, and she has a story on her TikTok and Instagram about
Sure.
shitting her pants. I don't know. I don't think it's like you're embarrassing her.
I think you're fine.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
embarrassing that she went on a date with you, but
there you go.
you haven't stopped talking about that. So, I don't. Yeah, I think you're. I mean, that makes me think of a question I've always wanted to ask DJ. Is like somehow I want to know how do you're like friends with a lot of like porn stars. So how does that? How were you a fluffer before comedy? Did just charming?
I
What's
don't
happening?
know. I have no idea why. I mean, it's just because I guess I'm sex positive and I don't judge. And whatever you're into, you can fucking be
Cory's
into it.
HIV positive, so what a
Yeah.
coincidence.
Similar. So how did
We told you stop sharing needles.
Trying to get the vaccine.
But yeah, that makes
I
sense.
don't know, man.
Yeah.
I guess I was very good friends with one, and then we started dating for a while. You guys know her. I won't mention her. We're not friends now. So just don't want to give her any attention. Especially because it's all the fuck that she wants. So I was dating her for a while. She would take me to a lot of like porn parties and like red carpets and stuff like that. Went to AVN and met a bunch of people there. She didn't go to any of the parties. I went to.
What was better, World
shitload.
Series of Comedy or the AVN Awards?
I've off camera, I'll share a few stories with you guys.
All right. For World Series of Comedy got crazy. Let me tell you.
World Series, man.
I want you to
Joe
do
Hours
I want you to do your
knees
booking and finances presentation at AVN.
Dude, I talk about finances with porn people a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'm always telling them like what they can and can't write off and shit. Like I'm always helping them out with their money situation.
I met Sylvia Sage is her name, I think, down in LA. I don't know if you're familiar with her at all, but she's a kooky lady, but she's does comedy, I guess, and
Yeah, in case you were wondering who I was talking about.
Oh,
I didn't even know. I didn't know that was your girlfriend. All right. I was wondering if all right. Well,
so you can go right on ahead. I won't say anything negative or positive about the woman.
Well, I just I think she's we've exchanged a few. I just sent her my dick to have her rate it, just for fun because I wanted a porn star's opinion, and she's funny, and but I asked her to share a clip of like my comedy once because she's got a bazillion followers, and she was like, I don't think the people that watch my story will really want to see that. And I was like, all right, that's fair. A bunch of horny dudes like, oh, this is great comedy right here,
Yeah,
but
she's also seeing funny things. So
yeah. Well, yeah, because of her comedy.
Yeah,
but all right.
She's also not sharing yours because you're not famous enough. If you were a famous person, she would she would do anything the fuck you like. All she cares about is.
I'm not gonna say anything negative or positive. This bitch
I'm throwing that rule out now. I'm throwing that rule out now.
Good. It's all good.
We were in LA one time, and we're just in like this group, and somebody was talking about like hooking up with comics and about this and that. And I was like, dude, that's bad business. You don't want to hook up with comedians. Like, I don't hook up with anybody inside of the comedy industry. I don't hook up with wait staff, security, managers, comedians. And she was like, we used to hook up. I was like, yeah, I said I don't fuck comics.
Yeah.
That's as much as I'll give you guys the juice after the record button is hit again.
Well, yeah, I interviewed strippers.
Well, I think you broke her heart. Sorry, all she does is talk about I want a relation. I want someone who loves me and accepts me, and like all her Twitter is so dramatic. And I'm like, oh, this is the guy responsible now. I finally get a face to the name.
There may or may not be a little bit of truth to that.
All right. Well, you're off the hot seat now. We can move on. That's fine.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Just for some reason, I've always had good relationships with sex workers, with strippers and cam girls and stuff like that. Like, I don't know.
So if you were going to write a joke about her or a porn star and you're friends with her, would you be like, hey, just full disclosure, I don't really care what you think, but I just wanted you to see it first?
I think a better example would be if I wrote a joke about like Tara Patrick or Jessie Jane, because I'm currently friends with them. So if I wrote a joke about one of them,
can I send you my dick and you can give it to them? Like, can we do like a? I'm just kidding.
I'll start a group chat.
All right, that sounds good.
Sounds
but
like
if I wrote a joke,
efficient way to send dick pics to me.
That's the thing is though is I'm currently friends with them, and I'm currently in like if I text Sarah Patrick, she's gonna text back. So with her, I would just do the joke, but it's like I know her well enough that like I know that I could do the joke and then just send it to her, and then she'll just laugh her ass off and. But that's just the relationship that I have with her or with Jessie Jane.
Women text me back all the time. Whoa.
On the other hand, like I'm not close enough with Christy Mack to shoot her a message and be like, oh, by the way, I'm doing this joke about you. If I wrote a joke about her, I would definitely just throw it out and hope for the best. But for the most part, like, the thing is, like, other than like one person in porn, everybody in porn has a very, very good sense of humor.
Right.
Everyone else
Except for
very
one
good sense of
person.
humor.
We won't mention anyone's name, but just
There's
one
probably,
lady.
I mean, I'm not saying that there's one. There's definitely one or none. I'm just saying that like there's statistically speaking, there's
least
got to be
one.
like one person that's not very good at having a sense of humor. And so everybody else is fine. That's my thing is like if you've crossed over into public domain, then
Sure. All right.
you're fair game. But
Women, so I interview women from my podcast or strippers or sex workers, and what they one came to the show Wednesday night with her friend, and they were, you couldn't tell they were strippers, but when you heard they were strippers, you weren't surprised, I guess, based on just their dress and
They wore their work outfit to the show.
wait, was this Tulsa?
Yeah.
What was? Do you remember their names? Was one of them Bella Bandini?
No.
God, she's such a
What's her name?
Bella Bandini. I'll send you.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't know.
either her
Probably
or
group text.
Rachel.
No, I know their real name. I know her real name, and her Alice in Wanderlust is her Instagram, and she.
I know exactly who you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah. So she's cool. She brought a friend. Her friend actually doesn't dance yet. So anyway, that's beside the point. But they're there, and then on this side of me after the show is a mom with her two daughters, and they are just, regular old ladies, and not old, but the mom was, and so they are being fangirling a little bit, but also drunk. But there was like this cattiness, but only directed towards the stripper. The stripper couldn't have cared less. First of all, none of them were interested in me, I don't think, in any other way, but just comedy. But like they were like, "Oh, do we need to leave?" And I was like, "No, nobody. No, I kind of wanted to chat with you guys because just to be cool and nice. And you came out to the show and this day, and then this girl, she might have been interested. Her mom kept being like, "You should come over to our house," and I was like, "Oh, I don't. No, I don't. I'm not doing that. Why would I do that?" And then the girl left for a little while, and I was like, "Oh, where'd she go?" And they're like, "Oh, she's FaceTiming with her boyfriend." I'm like, she's catty about these strippers being there. She's flirting with me, and then because she just can't. I don't know. She can't handle the insecurity of it, I guess. I don't know. It was very. I was like, "Why do you care that there's a stripper here?" She's like scared a lot. So cat. I don't know. I guess. What's the equivalent for guys, or is there one?
Yeah, you know what? It's
Rose?
and you see him all the fucking time. And it's my favorite human on the planet. He's bulked up, he has no fucking personality, and his girlfriend just spent 45 minutes laughing at you on stage.
All
and
right.
as they're walking out of the show, they're not physically affectionate at all. And then as soon as they notice you, then all of a sudden, fucking, he puts himself between you and her, puts his arm around her every fucking time. And if you haven't noticed it before, you'll start noticing it now. It is the most adorable fucking thing in the world. They refuse to let her give you any compliments, and they are actually upset at how much fun she had with you.
But it comes out with like it's a different type. Like it's not. Girls do the thing of like, "You're so cute and you're so nice and your outfit," like these fake compliments, but it comes
Oh,
out.
you mean just like to people that are not comedians? And yeah, I promise you that guy's the same way with a fucking handsome waiter.
Sure.
Or
Sure.
like we only get to see him in our microcosm, but I bet you that he also wouldn't let you fucking merge into traffic if you looked prettier than him. Like,
Yeah, I never get that. When somebody's girlfriend flirts with me after a show, the guy's like, "I am not threatened whatsoever. Have a blast." Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, well, the girl I'm dating now is in porn, and so like when people are flirting with her, I'm like, all right, looks like another OnlyFans subscription.
New OnlyFans customer. Yeah.
I'm like, let's get this Cancun trip.
To DJ Sandhu. All right.
You put the menu out for them. You're like,
Yeah, that's funny.
For real, I'm like, I
Venmo me
don't give
$5.
a
I'll just
shit.
text you a nude right now. That should be like a after the show
new merch.
thing.
See, but it's also like, I mean, people. I feel like that jealousy, it comes from like two different places. One is just like that insecurity and that fear of not being accepted and being alone, and I understand that. But the other one is like just being fed this myth of monogamy as the only way to be alive, and we're fed this shit from day one, and then when it doesn't work, it causes extreme emotional turmoil for us. So if people just had if people were raised to just believe that, like, yo, it's not the worst thing that could happen if my high school sweetheart leaves me, your life could
Way
be
to get
better.
real specific to Cory.
Oh, also, you guys can't see on my camera that I pointed at his square.
Oh, okay, that's Cory right here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like the only reason why that heartbreak is so intense is because you had this expectation of foreverness,
right?
And now, like, now you see how temporary things can be, and like now I've been in relationships where I'm like, all right, we're just gonna be in love for 2 months, and then we'll leave each other forever, and then you go. Or I'm a lot of girls like in between boyfriends, dude, where they're like, I just want somebody to text late at night and tell them that I love you and blah blah blah, so that I don't make bad decisions in a real dating world. And I'm like, all right, cool. I can be your fake.
I don't know when this
boyfriend
turned
for a
into
little bit.
Zoom therapy session, but I am all for. I feel healed. I feel great.
I think it started last week with
Yeah.
Laura. She started asking all the questions. It was pretty funny. Well, yeah, you're probably. I mean, you're onto a bunch of stuff there, but I've always been curious. Now I have a better sense of at least where it started, and then like the porn friends, and makes total sense. But because every time you're like, oh yeah, you're aware. Check.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah.
Interview this
hey,
person
this
for your
girl.
podcast. So
yeah. Which is weird because like I don't go to strip clubs.
Right.
I fucking hate being at strip, and every guy says it sounds like such a line, but like the only time I want to, like, I'll only go if
you go to the source. You start messaging girls on Pornhub, and you go, "Hey, let me be your daddy."
I don't even like. I don't know where this came from, but like, I only like being there if I'm there with a girl. Like I've been to a couple with Cory back in Sacramento, but that was like every girl that I knew when we walked in, like I met them at just being at fucking bars or whatever in Sacramento. Like I didn't notice any, like I walked in and discovered that they were a stripper while we were in there. Like,
that reminds me. What's her name? Arya Price. Is that her name? She's not a stripper or porn star as far as I know. But yesterday,
clear my Google search out of the way.
She posted a TikTok of somebody I guess she's pretty conservative, but she's making fun of liberals who are trying to cancel things, and one of them was Dr. Seuss. And
I just saw something about this. I didn't read it, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, late Saturday night, I was probably drunk, and because when she replied yesterday, I was like, oh, what did I say? Like, you know, and she wrote back, because I wrote, oh, well, Dr. Seuss is kind of a bitch. And then she wrote back, and she goes, don't mess with my youth. And I was like, oh, we're good. It is funny because she's never replied to anything I've ever written her, but if I kind of like talk shit to her a little bit, she immediately is like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I think people just kind of know that he was shitty, but also he's dead, so he can't even be canceled. Like, so I don't really think there's a problem. And
right.
So I'm like, I don't know why people are pouting about him being canceled. And she's like, I'm not pouting. And I was like, oh, I wasn't talking about you.
But that's the thing is everybody who's like, no, don't mess with my youth. It's like, well, look, this is your youth. And your whole platform, your whole stance is how sensitive liberals are and they have too many emotions. But you're the one that keeps crying every time
Yeah. Don't take
something
It's
Dr.
funny
gets
that
Seuss.
it's funny that Cory gets drunk and Snapchats girls about Dr. Seuss. That is not what I
Yeah, for
send
real.
when I'm getting hammered. I do I like a dick pic on a train. I like a dick pic in the rain. I like
On a plane.
No, but
Well,
that's the thing. It's like, and also that's your childhood. If
sure.
it's like, I mean, it's like going outside and then like watching kids playing with
yeah,
their
my
razor
parents didn't read
scooters.
to me, so that doesn't affect my childhood
That
whatsoever.
it's like, it's not like if you see some kid on a razor scooter and you're like, what happened to stickball? They're canceling my childhood. Like,
Yeah.
fucking dude, people evolve. They're not reading the same books that you read. Like there's this thing about they're not going to be reading To Kill a Mockingbird in high school anymore, and everybody's like, oh, everybody's so sensitive. Give me the fucking plot then. If you're upset that we're not going to be reading
A
this
guy
book
paints
anymore,
a
why don't you
fence
tell me?
and uses the N word a lot. I think I don't
Yeah,
remember
tell me
much,
what the
but
fuck it was about. You didn't pay attention to the fucking book either. You coasted your way through school, and I know that because you're an American citizen. Uh, I graduated with a 1.62, and I walked. They let me walk the stage with a barely above D average. It takes absolutely nothing to get through life in this country, and they're
You could become
why
I
don't
don't
you
know.
go back to where you came from if you don't like it?
Back to Sacramento.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well,
It's fucking it's insane. It's insane to me that because what's weird though is like she loves all of my uh every time I post like a super liberal joke talking shit about she always likes it and she always like sends
well,
a laugh reaction.
in the end, I never even watched the TikTok or don't remember watching it. So I had to go back and go, I don't even know what this says. I just know Dr. Seuss is kind of a dick. But so I watched it. And it was a joke. And so she was laughing and then I was teasing. So I'm like, oh, okay, she has a good sense of humor about her this angle that she has on liberals canceling everything. And I'm like, all right, at least she's got a sense of humor about it. So that's fine. But I
Yeah,
remember
like your
reading her.
friend what was your friend Jessica out here?
Oh, Jess Johns from Reality Check TV Vegas. Yeah,
Yeah, like
she has a pretty good sense of humor about it too.
she every time I post something, she laughs at it immediately.
Yeah,
She's totally fine with whatever the fuck I'm saying, and I'm always completely attacking her and her stance.
yeah.
And then she's like, "Okay, this one's actually funny. I'll give you that." And I'm like, "All right, dope, man. Like you're coming from a pragmatic instead of that cult
Right.
fucking philosophy."
And she like duetted one of my TikToks and then put her Trump hat on, and then I duet or what she lips and I duetted it, and then I was like, this is the worst one yet, and I puke or whatever, but I'm joking, like whatever, and she thinks that's hilarious, and so it's all that's the way it should be probably, but yeah, a lot of people are like on probably our side are a lot of like I can't even be friends with someone who believes, and you're like, well, I don't know. I don't even
Yeah,
want
and
to
I
go to
Yeah,
get
his
what was
that.
that?
shows. Well, then you can't
What was
perform
that
in
joke I was
Tulsa.
trying to fuck that Trump supporter girl? I should bring that
Uh,
joke back. I never actually did anything with that, actually.
well, on
Um,
that note, next time we all hang out, let's do
Yeah.
a.
And
I'll,
once that record button's off, I got another story for you.
yeah, yeah, I'm in. But we ought to do a show where it's like you can only come to the show if you're a card carrying Republican, and then it's three of us performing and see what happens. That'd be kind of fun. I'm Cory Michaelis, comedy on all the things. Andrew J. Rivers on all the things. DJ, what are you on all the things? Or is it the same?
I'm Indian on all of
Or
no, I'm it is DJ Sandhu 20.
2-0.
I don't know where the other 19 DJ Sandus came from, but somehow I got number 20.
COVID-19 DJ Sandus.
Yeah, for real.
Well, it was great having you, and check out the Patreon to watch the video and see his handsome beard and face, and we'll hopefully see you in person soon.
We'll do a bonus episode with all the dirt that he's about to spill on.
Really.
Cars, so.
I stopped recording. All right. Bye, everybody.